Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's show. Several weeks ago, we brought to the viewing audience's attention the following book, which you see displayed on your viewing screen, and pointed out that the City of St. Paul Bureau of Health was distributing this indiscriminately to the teenage youth of the community without parental knowledge or consent. The following morning, public officials in St. Paul stopped the distribution of this piece of literature in the City of St. Paul. We have since discovered, however, that Planned Parenthood of Minnesota and the City of Bloomington Health Department will give this book to any person asking for it, and all you have to do is call up on the telephone. They'll be glad to mail it to you and send you a bill along with it. So if anybody would like to see it that hasn't seen it, or if anybody has any concern about their governmental units putting out this sort of literature, you now have been informed.
Tonight, Charlie welcomes Tiare, a man who lives as a woman. Bob McCoy, a man who refers girls to abortionists. Dr. Benjamin Spock, pediatrician and politician, now a candidate for the presidency of the United States. Plus Clara Martin and David Christofferson, who want divorce reform. And now, Charlie McCarty.
Welcome to the show tonight, Tiare. Tiare, our first guest this evening, who is a man but has the living habits of a woman and the desires of a woman, is currently appearing at the Flame nightclub in Minneapolis. Tiare is the choreographer of an all-boy show, The Pearls of the Pacific, consisting of female impersonators. Tell me, Tiare, how'd you get into this racket?
Well, it all started when we worked at the Glade nightclub in Hawaii. We got the group together and started our own review, Polynesian review.
You're in what they call in the trade drag, aren't you?
Drag queens, yeah, but in Hawaii we refer to as mahus.
Or what do they call you here? Well, in Hawaii, don't they require you, under these circumstances, you run around in the female garb, even though you're a member of the opposite sex? Don't they require you to carry a sign that says, I am a boy?
Right. We have to use that sign to identify ourselves in order to dress the way we do.
Do you dress in female garb as a general thing, or just when you're performing?
No, I'm a 24-hour drag queen.
24 hours? Yeah. I would think that that would present a little problem going in, for example, into a hotel to register dressed in that fashion and appearing as you do and signing John Smith or Paul Jones.
Or maybe here, but not in Hawaii because they know.
Well, they got the sign there.
Oh, yeah, right.
But does that create any problems in public accommodations in the restrooms?
No.
Where do you go?
I go to the girls' restroom.
You go to the girls' restroom?
Yeah.
If anybody ever caught you in there and knew the truth, you'd catch hell, wouldn't you?
Well, it depends on how you use it. If you
Well, yeah, I can see what you mean. That ought to be, that must be quite an interesting experience. Now, I'm not going to dwell on this particular phase of your life, but the thought occurs to me that would present a very interesting experience.
Well,
to have license, so to speak, to enter a woman's restroom.
Well, I don't know. Not here.
Not here.
No. We have our own restroom to use at the Flame.
Well, I understand that you have a separate facility, neither
right.
men nor women. Well, how long have you been involved in this sort of thing?
9 years.
9 years. Yeah. And why? Why did you get into this?
Because when they had the Glade nightclub in Honolulu, and I went there and seen the show there, and I just fell in love with the show. And
well, yeah, I can understand why you might want to do a female impersonation act, but why on a 24-hour basis?
Because I'd never look good as a man.
Well, I know a lot of men that wouldn't look very good as a woman, but I don't understand what you mean you wouldn't look good as a man.
Well, I've been going to the doctors, I've been taking hormone pills, and they build up breasts. So.
That's real?
I should hope so.
Well, we'll not find out on this show, I'll tell you that. But, well, that's interesting. Do you have any desire to get the rest of the equipment that fills out the bill?
Right, yes.
Are you anticipating, for example, a sex change operation?
Right, yeah.
You
I'm
are?
under doctor's care.
I see. Have you always, since you were a young person, had these characteristics and desires?
Yes, as a little boy, yeah.
As a little boy, you wanted to be a little girl.
Mm-hmm. I played with my sister's dolls and did all the other things that girls did.
Well, there's a lot of boys at various ages have been playing with dolls for years, but they different kind of dolls, maybe. How many are in your act?
There's 15 of us.
And they all are they all similarly constituted from the standpoint of emotional and psychological? Or are some of them, do they all operate on a 24-hour basis?
No, I'm the only one in the entire group that do.
That goes on that?
Yeah. The rest dressed as guys during the day. They just do it for show purpose.
Well, tell us some of the problems that you've been confronted with in this sort of thing.
Well, a lot of times, like when I go, like when we're on stage here at the Flame Cafe, a lot of the people don't know what's going on from the time the show starts until the end. They don't know that we're all guys, see? And then after the show is over, then when I introduce the cast members, and I say, Mr. So-and-so, and then they're shocked. And even after the show, they still don't believe that we're boys.
Do you get a lot of propositions?
No,
Why?
because we don't mingle with the customers.
Do you chase girls yourself?
No,
Well, have you got any that you got captured?
no, no.
Well, what do you like, boys or girls? Put it that way.
All right, I love the show. I love being on stage. That's all. I love being in lights.
Well, I know, but do you have a, shall we say, an emotional relationship with somebody of the opposite sex?
Sometimes, not all the time.
You don't have a steady girlfriend.
No, and I don't have a steady boyfriend either.
Well, I hope you have some friends.
Oh, I do.
What gender
Yeah,
are they?
yeah, friends. Well, the kids in the
Both.
show, people that we meet at the club there, yeah, that enjoy the show, that we talk to.
Has this caused you any problem? I know that, for example, we have a statute, it seems to me, in the state of Minnesota that prohibits a person of one sex from appearing in public, except for entertainment purposes, in the garb of the opposite sex. And apparently that's the reason they require you to do this in Hawaii, wear a sign, I am a boy, when you're appearing dressed as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any problem like that, with that sort of thing in other communities?
No,
Nobody really knows, probably.
no, nobody really knows, right?
Because of your general appearance as such. That's quite a hairdo you have.
Yeah, it's called a mahu hairdo.
Is that native to the island?
Yes, it is.
You were born in Hawaii?
Right.
How long is that hair on the natural?
Down to my back, just below my bra strap.
That's something. Who does it? Do you do that yourself?
We all
Eddie?
do our own hair. We fix our own hair. It seems as though that this is a strange type of hairdo here in Minneapolis. Not very many women here use this type of hairdo. I
Even
don't think
in
they
the
do it
entertainment
all.
world?
No, not even the entertainers here use it. They've never heard of this or seen this type of hairdo.
How long you continue on this sort of thing?
You mean entertainment?
Well, the entertainment is one thing, but I mean in the everyday, day-to-day living. What is your plan for the future for yourself as an individual?
Oh, to be a complete woman. Yeah.
Do you have a timetable, for example?
No.
Well, it's been interesting. You're certainly a very impressive-looking man dressed as a woman. Certainly your appearance indicates more of a female than male. The fellow says you could fool quite a few people, I'm sure. And apparently, from your conversation, you have so done and do constantly in your show.
Right.
We wish you good luck in your future, whatever it brings. Thank you for being here with us this evening. We'll take a cut now for a commercial. Be back in a minute. Bob McCoy is a 44-year-old steel salesman involved in abortion counseling and affiliated with Minnesota Organization for the Repeal of Abortion Laws. His referral service has assisted over 7,000 girls to terminate unwanted pregnancies. His organization has been active in the state legislature trying to change the abortion laws. Bob, what kind of abortion laws do you favor in this state?
Well, we favor the repeal of the state abortion law, which presently forbids a woman in Minnesota to secure an abortion unless the same is necessary to preserve her life. And we think that there are very few life-threatening conditions present anymore, and that women should be given the free choice to decide for themselves, as long as we support birth control as public policy, that we should give women the opportunity to choose themselves whether or not they wish to continue a pregnancy that occurs. And if they do not, we feel that the Minnesota law should be changed so that she can secure this kind of medical care in the early stages of pregnancy from local physicians or hospitals. And therefore, we favor just the repeal of the present law and permitting abortion, say, up to the 20th week. Beyond that, we think that there should be severe or important medical reasons to do abortions, but we think in the early stages it should be the right of a woman to decide for herself.
Well, first off, why do you differentiate between the early stages and beyond the 20th week or the second trimester?
Well, several reasons. One is that in the early stages, the medical risks are quite small. After 20 weeks, the medical risks increase a great deal, and women do begin to gather a sense of otherness about their pregnancy in late stages, and the psychological hazards are somewhat higher, though still small.
There's certainly no difference in the moral question.
Well, I think that there is to some extent. There's a great difference in aborting a viable fetus that can survive or aborting something that's as small as the end of the tip of your finger.
Well, you know, the abortion question has been kicking around for many years, and I know when I was in public office, the question was often asked to me, and I had a stock answer for it, that I just took the position anybody that needed an abortion had a problem. What kind of results or reception have you been getting, the state legislative members?
Well, we've tried in 3 different sessions of the legislature to change the law, that is the Minnesota Organization to Repeal Abortion Laws, and we failed all 3 times.
You haven't made any progress, so to speak.
No,
but what kind of a reception from the individual members of the legislature?
Well, we found sponsors for bills to repeal the abortion law, and we have legislators who are for us and some who are against us. But the majority of the reception in the committees that we've had to go through have been opposed to us, and we've failed. And so that's why we're getting more women now involved in the effort to change the law and hope to get a better reception in the upcoming legislative session.
We're going to go to the dock. We have, I don't know if that's a lynch party or what, but we have a lady in the dock that we're going to go to right now.
Thank you. Mr. McCoy, a few weeks ago in the Sunday Tribune, Minneapolis, I believe it was, they quoted you as saying that pro-abortionists believed that an unborn child was truly a life, or that you believe this, but not a human person. And to me, this is a contradiction. I fail to understand this.
Well, I said that an unborn child is human, just as sperm is human. But there's a great difference between an acorn and an oak tree, as there is a difference between a fetus or sperm or eggs and a person. My point was that a fetus is not yet a person. Until it becomes a person, then we have to be very precise, and that we do not give it the protection of the Constitution as a fetus. There's nothing in the Constitution that says a fetus is a person. It does not become a person until it is born. And all of the laws that give rights to fetuses specify that before a fetus can inherit or sue, it first must be born alive, and then it becomes a person. And that's the big distinction between, there's no question it's life, but it's not a person.
Well, a baby could be born at many different stages. You know, you can have a birth at 6 months and have a truly live baby that will live.
Absolutely.
And so isn't that rather relative if life just begins when it is born?
Well, when do you say it begins?
Well, I believe that it begins when the
Now, wait a minute,
sperm...
let's get this act straight. She's asking the questions, or I'll ask the
Yeah.
questions. You don't
Okay.
you just answer.
Okay.
Well, I just was wondering, it's rather relative as to when a baby is born or when a child finally is born. They could either be born through abortion and be born dead, or they could be born with the doctor's help and be born alive. I think it's just a matter of semantics, really.
Well, to you it may be, but to vast numbers of women it is not, who they do not feel, certainly that a premature delivery, everything must be done to see that the infant survives. But an abortion at 6 weeks is far different than birth of a child, and this is where vast numbers of women would disagree with you.
I wonder if it would be a fair analogy, Bob, to suggest that your theory here, it's all right in the first 12, 15 weeks, but it's not any good after that. It'd be like saying it's all right to steal up to $25, but don't steal any more than that. We have another gentleman in the dock.
I would like to take an issue with you. I am a psychiatrist and a pharmacologist and connected with the University of Minnesota. And there is ample scientific evidence to show that the fetus is a separate life. For example, if the mother has diabetes, the fetus, although it's used to refer to it as big as the tip of your finger, can secrete insulin and help the mother with her diabetes. If the mother has a rare defect in her antibodies to combat infection, the fetus can help her with that. So there is ample scientific evidence that it is a separate life. I am actually all in favor of women's rights, and I think a woman should have the full right of not be impregnated at the whim of the male. And I think other things are more important in our society than the abortion. I think the male should take responsibility for it. I think we should encourage women not to be abused by male through rape or incest, and help them in other way rather than seeking it. I feel it is solving the issue in a different, roundabout way, not directly by approaching it.
If I may respond, I agree with you. I would much rather spend my time providing people information on family planning and birth control and not have to come to us to get information on abortion. As far as your medical information about the relationship between the fetus and the mother, I feel that this is accurate. You're a physician, I'm not sure to verify that or not. But as far as you speaking as a psychiatrist opposing abortion, I'm afraid you're in a very small minority. Because the majority of psychiatrists in this country and psychologists have come out for a repeal of the abortion laws. You know this, and I know it.
Yes.
And this is why the American Psychiatric Association, the American Psychoanalytic Association, the American Association of Psychologists have all come out for leaving the abortion question up to the woman and her physician, and there are a small minority of psychiatrists such as yourself who feel this way and have every right to feel this way, but you're in a small minority.
Right, I agree with you that the majority of psychiatrists have taken a stand for the repeal of abortion law, but not to have it on demand in certain issues. The problem that bothers me as psychiatrist, I counsel women, 80% of psychiatric patient women all the time, is that they sometimes see pregnancy as an inconvenience. Like a faculty wife walks into my office and say, well, we're going to take a trip to Europe and I'm pregnant. I want to have an abortion. We can't make the trip to Europe if I have the baby. So that becomes, really an inconvenience rather than really a psychiatric issue.
Sure.
That goes back to my theory. If you need one, you got a problem. Thank you, doctor. That brings right to, you pointed out that you'd rather be spending some of your time in the proposition of counseling and Planned Parenthood and that sort of thing. It is probably easier to stay out of trouble than get out of trouble.
It certainly is.
My mother had a great theory about that proposition. She said that a girl properly advised would, upon retiring at night, take a cold glass of water and nothing else. We have another lady in the dock.
Mr. McCoy, I'm wondering what kind of counseling you give the women that come to you. For instance, do you tell them that they have a 1 in 10 chance of being rendered sterile by an abortion? Now, women are concerned about controlling their reproductive life. What kind of control is this when 1 out of 10, that could be close to 20 to 30,000 of women who were aborted in New York last year, over 50% of which were pregnant for the first time, will never again be able to have a baby. Do you tell the women this when they come to you?
I'm sorry, your medical knowledge is faulty.
This is from the medical journals, the best medical journals that...
I'm sorry, but it is inaccurate. How do they know that the women are sterile? How would they ever find that out unless they were to get pregnant again? It's impossible to find this kind of information out. There are some oddball reports written by people who are opposed to changing the abortion law who make up information like this, but it's not supported by the vast amount of medical knowledge that's in the body of scientific data that we must rely upon. I'm sorry.
Well,
as far as what counseling do we give, we have trained counselors who spend from a half an hour to an hour with them. We're not funded, so we don't have a lot of time to follow up people or spend a great deal of effort with them, but we refer them to plenty of other agencies if they need further problems. We get great cooperation from almost every public agency in this state to follow up.
Do you tell them how abortions are done?
Absolutely.
What is done to their body, the different ways that they're done?
We certainly do.
What the possible complications can be?
We tell them that there are risks in abortion. The risks are less than going to full term.
No, they aren't. Depends on. It's safer to have a baby in Minnesota, 3 to 4 times safer to have a baby in Minnesota than it is to have an abortion anywhere else in the world.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just dispute your information as far as death
Well,
rate.
I've got
Yes.
the journals, the quotes from the articles.
Why don't you meet with Bob after the show and
I'll
give him
send you
that
a packet of our
information?
materials. You really...
Thank you.
I've read all your material, by the way.
Bob,
Okay.
the question arises in my mind with the information you were just exchanging with the young lady in the dock and some of the literature I've read. Have you ever been accused of practicing medicine without a license?
My wife is a physician, and she takes care of the medical practice in our household. No, I've not been accused of practicing medicine without a license because I'm not treating people medically.
Well, who makes a determination as to how far pregnant a woman is?
The physician who sees the woman. We ask every woman
You mean
who
you make them bring a note like
Yes,
from the home?
yes.
Or?
They must have seen a physician before they see us.
I see.
And this is the first screening process because doctors are alert at sensing problems women have, and they can help deal with them before they come to us.
So
But
they come to you with a note, and then you ship them off to what some people might term a murder factory.
Well, if abortion is murder, then there are millions of women who should be in prison.
Well, we got a lot of bandits in prison.
We don't ship people off to any place. People choose and decide what they wish to do. We're not trying to sell abortion to anyone. We're simply saying that these are the choices that you can have. You can go to Wisconsin for a legal abortion, California, or any of other 22 or 23 other
What's
states.
the difference between Wisconsin and New York?
The difference is that in Wisconsin, the law was struck down by a federal panel. There is no law in Wisconsin. In New York, the change was brought about by the legislature acting.
When you say no law against or for?
There is no law on the books dealing with abortion in the state of Wisconsin. You can go to Hudson, Wisconsin and get a safe legal abortion if you can find a physician who will do it. None of them are doing them over there, but they are in Madison. Why? Because they are busy with their practices. They're not aware of the change in the law.
Well, I thought it was a simple proposition.
It is a simple proposition. There are plenty of other places. I picked Hudson. You can go to Thief River, the nearby town.
You're telling me that the medical profession in the state of Wisconsin is opposed, generally speaking, to abortion?
Well, in our state, they're not. I don't know how they are in Wisconsin.
Well, we go back to that.
Okay.
We got a gentleman in the dock here. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm a doctor also. I'm with Ramsey County Hospital and with the University of Minnesota. And, well, first of all, I can respond to the last thing you said. I don't think that physicians in the state of Minnesota are generally in favor of, certainly not abortion on demand.
But
and
they're
very
in favor of some
conservative.
change, aren't they?
Pardon?
They're in favor of some change, aren't they?
Well, I think many physicians are sitting on the fence. We're not used to thinking of what might be the implications of some changes we agree to. And I think that the nest we're building for ourselves in medical ethics by agreeing to your tactics of killing fetuses for convenience and whatever other reasons you may have is a very thorny nest we're building. And I think many physicians are beginning to realize this once the education gets spread around to this effect. And so I think that medical ethics very important thing in this issue. And I think it's the mental gymnastics one goes through to justify killing fetuses is the same gymnastics one would have to go through to any other selective definition of defining someone out of the human race. there's no question, there's scientific, it's scientific fact that there's human life there. And certainly on the other end of the spectrum, when somebody is mentally deformed or someone aged and mentally or physically impaired, but in an adult age group, we're very conservative in our decisions as to who is a human being and who should deserve the respect and the protection of society. And how you and other pro-abortionists can just glibly say, well, I mean, there isn't human life there. Right now, one example, right now we use an arbitrary definition that a donor, someone can be used as a donor for transplants if there is absence of electroencephalographic waves, brain waves. Now, perhaps we should look at this and where it happens in the fetal life. And you know well, and this has been explained to you on more than one occasion, I'm sure, that this happens before pregnancy can even be diagnosed. And pregnancy, of course, can't be diagnosed until 6 weeks. But electroencephalographic activity is present then, as well as electrocardiographic activity. I don't think that any of us can play God and say exactly when human life should deserve what respect or how we rate things, but I think we should be very conservative. And I really don't know how I can, as a physician, or anyone else can say that this is not human past the time of conception. It certainly is human. It fits the definitions of what human life is. It's
Doctor,
alive.
let me ask you a question. What is the position of the State Medical Association relative to abortion on demand?
The State Medical Association turned down any liberalization of the abortion law, overwhelmingly turned down a resolution that was introduced in Rochester at the State Medical Convention a few months ago.
Now,
Wait a minute.
Just a minute, Bob. There's another question I want to ask him. Pro-abortionists take the position that life exists in both the male and the female, in the sperm and the ovum. Do you agree that life, what is it? One single cell consists of 46 chromosomes, 23 in each the sperm and 23 in the ovum? Is life, medically speaking...
The sperm has, well, let's see.
Well, we don't get back into the mathematics of it. The question is, in medical technology, do you understand life to exist in the form of the sperm and the ovum separately?
I think it's
joinder causes the
sir,
growth?
I think that is an entirely different issue. I mean,
not either.
when you have made up in the fertilized ovum, if it's male, it's 46 with an XY sex chromosome makeup. This has everything there except nutrition and oxygen that's needed to form an adult human being. All this is obviously very dependent on someone for these nutrients and for it to develop. Now, the sperm or the ovum certainly individually do not have that capacity.
No, but
You see?
collectively they do. And the question is, does life exist in the individual ovum? Obviously it must. Or the fertilization from the sperm wouldn't cause it to expand and grow, huh? I got another question coming down the line. As long as we got a medical man and a doc, we're going to get a little information.
Well, I think if you want to define life as
long as you don't
whether or
turn the
not
clock on.
whether or not the sperm can use oxygen, I think a sperm probably can use oxygen. I haven't seen these studies, but a sperm in no way is a human life, nor will develop into a human life until it fertilizes an ovum.
Well, the reason I ask the question is because of the fact that I can't understand, if medically speaking, sperm and the ovum contain life, and it's the joinder of the two together, the fertilization of the ovum by the sperm, joinder of the sperm, how you can oppose abortion after the joinder has taken place and yet go ahead and prescribe the pill. How do you reconcile those apparent diametrically opposed positions?
I think it is an entirely different issue, Mr. McCarty. I think that the fertilized ovum...
Say, Mr. was my father, Charlie.
Yes. The fertilized ovum has everything there It is a human being which has to develop will develop, given the proper nutrition and conditions, into an adult human being with all
So
of the
you are
capacities.
saying that the ovum contains life? And you're opposed, the medical profession is opposed to abortion on
I'm saying
demand.
that, I said that the fertilized ovum contains life, sir.
Well, it's got to have some containment of life, the ovum, without the fertilization, or the fertilization wouldn't do much good, huh?
Well, you can implant an ovum that's not fertilized in a uterus for 9 months, and you won't have a human being. I think you would agree to that, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a medical man. In
Well,
one field, I've
I don't
assiduously
think
stayed
one
out.
has to be very experienced in medicine to realize that there has to be fertilization of the ovum. I mean, what I'm saying was put an ovum in a uterus for 9 months and see what you get.
Well, you've answered my question, and so that we don't get this thing out of context, we're going to go back to Mr. McCoy, because he's the guest I'm interviewing.
Well-
thank you very much.
Our guest in the docket has given by implication the idea that the doctors of this state are opposed to abortion. It is true they rejected the proposal for abortion on demand, but they reaffirmed their previous position, which was that abortion should be permitted with approval of a hospital committee with no restrictions if done by appropriate medical conditions. And they reaffirmed this position which they'd taken up previously. The American Medical Association has come out for abortion. But I think his question is interesting, and all the other questions we have, they're all addressed to the fetus. Most of those who are opposed to abortion are mainly concerned with the fetus, saving these fetuses. They disregard the needs of the woman who has to care for this fetus for 20 years if it becomes a birth. They disregard the problems that overpopulation have on our society. They disregard the problems of pollution. Now, fetuses are important, but those of us who wish to change the law feel that women are more important